Another Rapidfire playlist video, this time for exploding quick release knots. We're going to lead off with one from a previous playlist video, and here is how you tie it just on its own dedicated video. The slipped sheet bend. Yeah, it's in there somewhere, whatever. Okay, start with keeping track of your working end. There's a U, go through the back, there, around those two, and in that little gap right there is where you're going to tuck your slip. There we go. Now when you pull on that, it pops apart. There we go. Okay. It also works quite well when you're putting it onto a loop like that. There should be a video here eventually for how to tie this knot that I just tied, or at the very least a playlist video. Because the first step is putting it through there, all that extra slack that you use will have to come back through the loop. So rather than mess with any of that, we're going to use a slipped lap knot instead. That's the next one on our playlist. I'm going to wrap around there and tuck here. You see it's visually very similar to a sheet bend, just different in what's taking what weight. Now it's loaded onto the ring and just pop. Gone. Excellent, excellent. Okay, next up is a slipped hitch, the tumble hitch. Start by taking your post and passing a bite behind it from your working end. Pass up another bite. There we go. And then wrap around your standing end and pass your working end into the bite from whence it comes. Okay, when you apply weight to this, it should fold open a little bit, just a little bit. Otherwise, you need to dress it a little better. And to show off its favorite feature of mine, reverse that, my favorite feature of it, it has no will. We're going to transfer that to a carbiner and just grab and slide and pop. Coming off a solid ring. Very nice. Okay, next up is a Fiador knot, and I'm going to use a little jig for that. A Theodore knot is a slipped adjusting loop, and I very, very dearly love adjusting loops. Editing. Okay, that's good enough. I want as little editing on this as possible. Okay, so our weight is coming from below. You have already passed this around something, and when you pass it around something, it miraculously turned purple so that we can keep easier track of the knot that we're tying. Okay, start with an eye and make sure that your working end is going underneath the line from whence you come. That is very, very important. Okay, now this whole thing is going on top of, so this goes underneath, this part goes on top of this line that you're attaching it to. Wrap the whole thing around. Keep the first line straight. You can stop at 2, but for something truly sturdy, you should do 3. I'm not going to do 3 because it's already getting a little visually unwieldy, and I would rather you be able to see what's going on without any extra fuss. Okay, now, as I'm cinching this out, I'm going to draw up here, and that, it will take slack from here. Wait, yeah, got that backwards. This will take slack from here, this will take slack from here. So pulling off of that. We'll keep it very nice and tidy, and now this will take a monumental amount of force in a this waywardly direction and hold, but you can still grab it and adjust it. Ah, okay, you can't really see how much weight I'm putting on that, but trust me in that I'm putting quite a lot on it, and it just explodes right off in exactly the same way as all of those others have done. One edit shouldn't be too bad for me to keep track of. Okay, so next up we're going to be using the only fixed loop that has all of the quick release properties that I like in my quick release knots, and we're going to do the same color segregation so that it's easy to keep visual track of everything that's going on. We're starting with a round turn like that. If which side goes up and which side goes down is reversed, you're going to have to reverse these directions, so just learn it one way first and try to stick with that as much as possible. You're going to go under the top and over the bottom there. I'm going to need more slack than I've got there. Okay, now wrap around those and then over the top one and under this bottom one here, and when you tighten it you should have this pretty little friendship knot looking. There we go. Now that will make a decent fixed loop. There are other fixed loop options I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and it will explode nicely. All the other ones that I looked at, when you try to pull the slip, it would put an overhand knot in what would be the loop down here. That is not good. An overhand knot will reduce the carrying capacity of your line to 10% of what it used to be. Very bad for everyone involved. As far as I know, the exploding friendship knot doesn't really have a name, so I think I'm going to call it an imaginary friend knot. There we go. Because it's something you can get out of really quickly with no extra hassle, I guess. There. Imaginary friend knot. Bam. Okay. Now, the other way to make a fixed loop that has those nice explodey properties is to start with a small fixed loop here, and then take this and pass it around whatever it is that you're going to pass it around, and put a lap knot there. Alright, yes, you're using two knots at once there, but that is pretty ingenious, and it will explode with no extra problems. And undoing this one is actually pretty easy. Even if it's really heavily loaded, it will just pull apart there. Not as quick release as some of our exploders, but oh well, what you can do. Very final thing, be comfortable with the concept of the slip. For example, if you want to slip a stopper knot, we can use the one from our Essentials playlist up here. The Oysterman stopper, but slip it instead. There. We still have our 3-lobe structure. It's slipped, it's huge, it's not going anywhere, and you can do nice things with it. And there we go. Or if you wanted a slightly stronger hitch, you can do the rolling hitch, also from that same playlist. And actually, you know what? Let's go and make it a strangle knot instead. Tuck it under 2 instead of under 1. That slip is not going anywhere, but when you pull that out, now you just have this little spiral. And take that out. Thanks for watching. If you like my material, you can give me a thumbs up. To raise my ranking in search results, get a subscription to and subscription to see more videos like this in the future, or something that you request. You can discuss me on Reddit, because if you discuss me on any kind of Google Plus commenting system, I will read it, but I will not respond because I hate Google Plus. If you want to support me in a more direct way, you could share my videos so that I get some more, ad revenue, or way more directly, you can go to my shop and buy something like this that is super quick release. Look at that. This one happens to be about 5 feet, but that's because I have inhumanly tiny wrists. If you have a normal human-sized wrist, it will be about 7 or 8 feet, depending on the pattern, if you want it super rapid deployment like this one, although I also have them ranging all the way up to the 18 to 20 foot range, depending on how much cord you want to wear. This one right here is a 10-footer, and it's about an inch across. Actually, these are the most rapid of deployments of anything that I've got right now. I'm actually going to demo this one in a video pretty soon. Alright, thank you for watching.